Delaware is a state in the mid-Atlantic region of the United States, bordering Maryland to its south and West Pennsylvania to its north, and New Jersey and the Atlantic Ocean to its east. The state takes its name from the adjacent Delaware Bay, in turn named after Thomas West, 3rd Baron Delaware, an English nobleman and Virginia's first colonial governor. Number 5. The Rockwood Mansion. Built between 1851 and 1854, the Rockwood Mansion was initially the retirement home of Joseph Shipley, a distinguished merchant banker who designed the house to resemble an English country estate. But as anyone who's seen it can attest, the ornate Gothic Revival architecture has all the makings of a classic haunted house, complete with a pet cemetery. Over the years, staff have seen the spirit of a man in a red smoking jacket and the ghost of Shipley's great niece, Mary Bringhurst, who was 100 when she died in the home in 1965. Sometimes you'll smell lilacs, which was one of her favorite perfumes. Dr. Lou Demiri, a parapsychologist, told a CBS reporter in 2017. Her old bedroom occasionally dips in temperature, he added. The basement is supposedly home to a spirit called the Shadow Man, and some have seen the ghost of a dog. Other unexplained occurrences include floating orbs and a disturbing sound of shoes on the stairs. Number 4. A Victim's Last Cry. Lum's Pond is a popular destination for campers, picnickers, paddlers, bikers, and hikers. Few, however, know about its resident ghost. According to Delaware Public Archives, a runaway girl met her end in the 1870s when she encountered a murderer. So if you hear high-pitched screams and muffled shouts near a swamp forest hiking trail, you might wish to turn the other way. The woman's unfortunate demise isn't the only spooky campfire story you can tell in the park. Its namesake is John Lum, who ran a mill house along the Shakespeare and Delaware Canal. Visitors have reported seeing the miller and his son roaming the grounds and hearing the phantom sounds of a water wheel. Number 3. Fort Delaware. The mere mention of the intimidating fortress on Pea Patch Island once instilled fear in Confederate soldiers' hearts. It was spoken by all who have been confined there as a perfect hell on earth, wrote a Confederate prisoner who counted himself lucky to be interned in Ohio. After battles in Gettysburg and Vicksburg, the prison population topped 12,000. In all, more than 2,650 people died here. Many fell victim to the 1864 smallpox epidemic, but prisoners also succumbed to poor living conditions. It's no surprise to paranormal enthusiasts that a place like this is widely considered one of the most haunted places in Delaware. There are so many ghost stories surrounding the fortress that local author Ed Okonowicz wrote the book Civil War Ghosts at Fort Delaware. He noted that some people have seen men in damp gray uniforms wandering around the coastline on misty nights. The lost souls are likely the escapees who drowned in the Delaware River's swift current. Okonowicz long led ghost tours on the island, and he reported that many participants heard strange noises and saw a man in a cloak carrying a lantern. In 2014, park historian Laura Lee was camping on the island with the Boy Scouts of America troop when she heard steps approaching her quarters. When she went to investigate, she was alone, but in the meantime, someone had balled up the sleeping bag she'd carefully spread on a bed as if telling her to leave. Number 2. Cannonball House. Owned by the Lowe's Historical Society, the Cannonball House is named for the cannonball that struck the foundation in April 1813 when the British bombarded Lowe's. Built around 1765, it's been a restaurant, laundromat, and a private home of pilots including Captain David Rowland. Reportedly, his family member Susan lost her life when her skirt brushed against the hearth and caught fire. Since the society bought the property in 1963, there have been some mysterious happenings. One door won't stay shut even when it's been nailed closed. In another incident, a worker left his tools on a bench at the day's end. The next morning they were on the floor as if someone had carefully placed them there. A key once went missing from the lock of a displayed 16th century Spanish chest. Since workers had accidentally shut the lid, everyone assumed the key had fallen inside the chest, which had locked. While cleaning the property, a maintenance man stumbled upon a coiled rope no one had noticed before. The key was underneath. Susan is a playful spirit, but a more aggressive specter might occupy the society's nearby Rives Holt house. While investigating the structure's basement, the late Rick Cohord, founder of Delmarva Historic Haunts, felt something or someone touch his arm. Someone is up close and in your personal space, he said after the experience, but you can't see anyone. He found the experience hard to forget. Number 1. Haunted B&B. The Addie C Bed and Breakfast in Bethany Beach has been said by some to have 3 haunted rooms. Room 1 had a copper tub which is reported to shake violently from time to time. The tub was removed in the 1970s. Some people say organ music has come from room 6, where there is no organ. Room 11 is supposedly haunted by a man named Paul Delaney who used to work for the bed and breakfast.